We're here with Mr. Eddie N. Moore Jr., President of Norfolk State University at UNCF's Career Pathways convening. Welcome, President Moore.
Thank you.
Glad
to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you. Congratulations to Norfolk State University being named a UNCF CPI planning grantee.
Well, we're excited about it on campus. This effort was led by our provost, Dr. Sandra Deloach, but unfortunately she couldn't attend today, so I wanted to make sure I was here.
What is the news of being a planning grantee meant for your university and particularly students?
Well, I think it's a real opportunity to evaluate what we're doing and see if we can come up with some ways of doing it better.
Now, your background, you began at Gulf Corporation, Gulf
did.
Oil, and you've also worked as state treasurer. You've had a varied background, and you've been a past college president as well. With your experience, what do you think are some of the key things that are needed for students to be successful in the 21st century marketplace for jobs?
Well, when students ever ask me about it, I tell them, first of all, they have to take risks. I believe that you shouldn't take any assignment that doesn't afford you growth. So therefore, my best assignments, even becoming a president, I was confident that I knew the administrative side of it, the financial side of it, the academic side was the growth side. So I think it's a marriage. You don't want to know everything, but you want to be challenged. And you want to show confidence, but not arrogance.
Very true, very true. Speaking of challenges, and I know that this was something that was touched on in one of the sessions yesterday, what do you think are some of the challenges that HBCU students in particular face when looking for employment upon graduation?
Well, I think the biggest challenge they have is overcoming society's misbelief that HBCU students, graduates are underprepared. And that is an issue that they're going to have to deal with. But I think over time, we have proven that we've prepared some of the best employees, some of the best minds in the country.
Wonderful. Are there existing initiatives at Norfolk State University that will be enhanced by the Career Pathways initiative?
Well, I think it's coming at a great time because we're in the process of redoing our strategic plan, and we're doing it internally. We have no external consultants or advisors working on it. I sought out the faculty members that teach strategic planning, told them this is an opportunity for them to demonstrate what they know, and we're having a lot of fun doing it, and I've already called back to the committee with some ideas that I learned here.
What are some of those ideas that you've learned here at the convening?
Well, I think the most important thing is that we have a honest and, I'll use my term, auditable baseline of data, and that we're willing to report our progress in an honest way going forward. I think too many HBCUs feel that their data is misunderstood, so I'm just not going to report it. I believe that anything you report, anything you disclose, gets better with each iteration that you disclose it. So if we want graduation rates to go up, we need to report graduation rates.
You're right.
And progress will take place.
What are you most excited about regarding UNCF CPI at your university?
Well, what I'm most excited about is the way the grant is proposed. It will create, hopefully, faculty that are more interested in what their students are doing after graduation. I know they are interested, many are, but this will create an environment where more will be involved, and I expect to see a different outcome.
Do you think it's important that private HBCUs and those that are state institutions share their learnings and collaborate to help HBCU students succeed overall?
Well, I think that's going to be a trust issue. So many of us feel that we're competing against each other for the same product, that we're going to have to overcome some trust issues. That's why my data analysis on campus, I demonstrate to our faculty and others that our main two competitors are non-HBCUs. In Virginia, it's Old Dominion University and Virginia Commonwealth University. Then Virginia State comes into the picture. So the perception that we can't work with Virginia State or Hampton or other HBCUs, it's really not true. The truth is our students are looking at two urban but non-HBCUs more than the HBCUs.
How do you think UNCF CPI will help your students to be competitive, not just with those students from the other institutions in Virginia, but just globally competitive?
When I asked our faculty and others to take on a new assignment, I don't want the plan built as to this is what's going to happen 6 years later. I want the plan built that this is what's going to happen 6 years later, but this happens year one, this happens year two, this happens year three. So I expect everything we do to have an immediate impact, even though it may be smaller than our ultimate impact, and not just bet the farm on what happens 6 years from now.
Got it, and I like that approach. I had been asking some of the other presidents earlier, where do you see your university 7 to 10 years down the road? And I guess my question for you would be, the spring of 2017, we'll have a new class of graduates from Norfolk State University. Where would you like to see that class of graduates?
Well, I would like to see that class of graduates have a higher placement percentage than the class of 60. And maybe not by much, 1 or 2%, but I want this to impact. I want our thinking, our planning grant even, to impact the students that are currently enrolled at Norfolk State University.
Got it. Lastly, are there any other reflections you would like to share about this work and what it means for 21st century outcomes for students?
Yes, I have one that has been, I'm challenged, well, it's actually two that I'm challenged with as we go forward. One is, I believe, inherent in what the presentations have done is we're assuming we're going to impact the 4-year student. In our state, I admit 500 to 700 2-year students every year. So we also have to figure out, we're going to do this for a 4-year plan for freshmen, but we also have to come up with a 2-year plan for transfer students. And lastly, my concern is really sustainability. And in one of the meetings I stood up and said, the thing we have to overcome is our elected officials. Because our governor knows how to run higher ed, our legislature all know how to run higher ed. They pass laws sometimes that we have to respond to. And I'm just hoping that this initiative will not be affected in an adverse way by any new legislation that comes down in Virginia.
That's interesting. Well, thank you, President Moore, for sharing with me. Again, President Eddie N. Moore Jr. from Norfolk State University here at UNCF CPI convening.